Later on, towards the end of the 70s, John Pinder decided that there really was no proper stand-up comedy venue. Now, stand-up comedy was starting to become very big in the States. So he opened The Joke, which is a small, tight, smoky, gladiatorial club where you could watch, say, 6 comedians a night. John, I think, was also aware that comedians had to be tough, so he made it a fairly tough venue. For example, there was a bar just outside the door, which you could see from the stage, so that if people were the slightest bit bored with your act, they just walked out, got a drink, and talked very loudly.
1 curried egg sandwich, 1 banana, in a Tupperware container, in a school bag, on a school bus for 4 hours. Now, when we're going to open that thing, it's going to be a stench that's going to make Chernobyl look like a fart in the bath.
So at the end of the day, a scene which started off with a lot of groups, a lot of 3 guys in a ukulele singing a pseudo-satirical song about something, gave way to the dominance, as it had in America, of the solo stand-up, who still kind of rule supreme.
It's very shit. I was once tripping on New Year's Eve. I don't take acid anymore because it's just too f***ing weird. But it was New Year's Eve and I was tripping and I was going out with someone and I really liked them. And halfway through tripping, and I just started thinking, tripping's very weird. You wouldn't want something bad to happen to you while you're doing this. And this person turned around and said, I don't like you anymore, I like that person. And I thought, oh, that's good, I'm about an hour and a half into this. So what, I just 6 or 8 hours of living hell?
The Tasmanian RSL said that if you knew anyone on the dole, you should report them to Social Security or the police. And I thought, well, that's fair enough too, because I remember when I was on the dole, every day was a bloody party. I'd wake up in the morning and think, God, what am I going to do with my wads of cash today?
And I don't know any jokes about blokes' dicks because I just don't think they're funny. They're very, very serious and sexy.
In the month of April, every single woman's magazine had something about orgasm. Because, of course, ladies, we don't know how to have them. We don't know nothing about them, no, because we ate the apple and we're our brains. Every single magazine had something about orgasm. Cleo was amazing. It had a photograph of Claudia Schiffer that looked like... They all looked like they stepped in dog shit. And it had underneath Claudia Schiffer how to have the best orgasm you've ever had. I thought, what happens next month? How to have the second best orgasm you've ever had.
I'd been to a psychiatrist on one occasion and I said, I'm thinking of doing stand-up comedy, and he said, you'll never do it. It will be like death for you. You'll never do it. It's too scary. You'll never do it. You'll never be able to do it. You won't live through it. I mean, nice guy, but very encouraging. I went to him because I was a hypochondriac.
Primal therapy, you sort of get in a room and this 4-year-old lets you in called Zigmund. And you get on the floor and you get a pillow and you beat the f*** out of your head on the pillow. Bang, bang, bang. And at the end of that session, you realise that you've actually had a bowel movement during the time. And you go, oh, that's the realisation that I've had, my bowel movement. Oh. And the shrink says, you've let go now.
I thought I was Lady Bruce after one gig. I thought, oh, this is really easy. Why have I waited this long? And then proceeded to die for the next 15 months every week, week after week.
Now, my impression of a plastic rubbish bin, 1981. Oh. Thank you. I think this must be you, camera 3. The rubber life raft. Poosh. Oh, please, stop. No. Pop culture is always really important to me, so things will be happening in the papers and on television, not so much just general ads and that, but large events that were affecting everyone, that everyone would know about. They were always intrinsic in how I would structure my, say, routine. Hands up, the anti-Nazis! Ah! Marbo! Will the real Australia please stand up? Everyone's freaked out because it's just Abbo with an M on it. Such a fucking freaked out nation. Jesus Christ.
my way of tormenting myself, which is a fascinating view into my own psyche, is that a couple of minutes before I go on stage, I cannot remember one thing that I'd have ever done in 10 years of stand-up. Cannot remember one thing. Have a lot of trouble with my name. And I've got like, you know, hours, literally hours of material. You know, I can go longer than the audience can go. I have to go, oh, better finish now, they're all a bit tired and weepy. I could keep chatting, but just prior to going on stage, and as I'm walking out to the microphone, no idea what I'm going to say. It's like people who win Tats Lotto. What is their problem? How many times do you see it? They get $6 million, and it's like, congratulations, you've won $6 million. And the guy goes, thanks very much, it won't change us. Oh, it won't! Wrong answer! Give us that back! Listen, all over Australia, if it's not going to change you if you win, don't go in it. I talk about the things that I think are funny, because I think that's really important. I don't think... no one's going to enjoy it if you don't. You've got to like what you do first. Because if you don't like it, well, why should a stranger? Bulldoze the house, buy the block, put up apartments, get a 7x7, had a party for a month on it, you've got $6 million. I can't believe it. These people say, oh, no, you know, just go to work. And I go to work? You kidding? My dad won free fries at McDonald's, he quit his job. I can't believe these people. Stand-up is raw honesty in that sense. Your emotion comes flat out of the audience because there's nothing between you and them, just the thin microphone stand, just you hanging on the cross.
As soon as the microphone goes on, the lights go on, I become very honest. I was single for a long time. I mean, so single that I was like driving down, you know, Dandenong Road one time, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden I saw a big sort of yellow sign on the left-hand side that said form single lane. I thought, oh no, you can tell. To drive down the single lane with all the other grumpy people. Yeah. A lot of what I talk about that's the most funny is about my own intensely personal experience, because ultimately everybody has a version of the same experience, being scared, being alone, being in a hostile world, you know, all those things are common to us because that's our life. And so people often think that I'm kind of, unleashing all this stuff on them. I'm just being very open.
And I remember at the time that Paul Keating became Prime Minister, I had a really panic attack. I was in the shower. I'm doing I thought I was over this, right? And I'm washing, and all of a sudden I felt a lump in a very odd place. And I kept washing, and I took a deep breath and, you know, pretended I was Enya. I went, ah, ah. And I talked myself out of it. I thought, no, it's not cancer. No, it's just a hemorrhoid. Everybody has them. The Queen has them. Jeff Kennett's got them all over his face. Everybody has them. Everybody's got them. I thought, no, but I couldn't contain. I kept getting more and more anxious. I kept thinking, no, it's cancer. I'm growing this beanbag out of my ass. It's going to be huge. It's got arms and legs. It's breathing. It's got veins. It's going to talk to me in a minute. It's got its own Medicare number. What is going to happen with this thing? And finally, I remembered that my brother had this, right? I rang him at his office and I tried to speak to him and he wasn't there. So I rang him in the car and I'm so panic-stricken. I'm hyperventilating. I'm thinking, you're not going to believe this. I've got a beanbag growing into my ass. It's got arms and legs. It's busting. It's growing. It's got a Medicare number. What the f*** am I going to do? It's huge. And finally, when he had 10 seconds to speak, he said, Rach, there's 4 guys from work in the car.
I'm going to do for you my impression of the First Fleet. Farewell to old England forever. Farewell to... Get out of there, you black bugger. Come on, off you go. Away you go. That's it, over there where we can't see you. Out of sight, out of mind.
Comedy is a way of coping with the irrational, the unpredictable, and the tragic aspects of life on Earth.
It's the one opportunity of a lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, to take this magnificent building from the Education Department and the children that go with it, to pull it down and build inner-city housing of a very high standard. Nothing to look at. Keep about your shopping, please. We need people like you to spend, 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 to keep the economy going. Consume, that's the important...
Historically, comedians have come from the working class and the less privileged classes. And the reason is, I think that there's nothing funny about being rich. Rich people don't ask themselves questions about why am I rich, whereas poor people ask themselves constantly, why am I poor?
Excuse me, sir, you look like a man who loves show business and music. You're a man with style and that. Look at us. Look, hey? We sing for money. Would you like to make a donation and we'll sing you a song?
But I haven't got any money.
Let me just rattle you up and down a minute.